What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the state of the Wizarding World games going into 2024. I thought this would be kind of different, but still fit like the criteria of what I normally do for videos. But this lets us talk beyond just the potential for Hogwarts Legacy 2. This lets us talk about anything, what Wizarding World games, updates, whatever, could happen going into 2024. So I actually have a few different things to talk about. Let's start with the Hogwarts Legacy 2 and just Hogwarts Legacy in general. So I, maybe controversially, believe it's going to be a year of relative silence. You know, it's actually crazy to believe that going into 24, right? About a year ago, you know, we're not at a year yet, but we're getting close to the 1-year anniversary of Hogwarts Legacy. Now, is there a chance that you could do some sort of DLC? Yes, but I feel like, I mean, maybe I'm like leaning too much in on this, but like rumors and leaks and stuff, I feel like we would have heard something by now, and that could be completely wrong. But I think of something like, kind of like an Elden Ring, right? So Elden Ring comes out February of 22, and you're actually approaching now 2 years, you know, of Elden Ring, but we know the DLC. We know it quite well, though. There is going to be DLC, and it's going to be massive. For Hogwarts Legacy, I just don't get that vibe. I've never, we've kind of gone back and forth on, does it make sense to do DLC? I think it does, but I really, in my heart, believe that the path for Hogwarts and what they want Avalanche to do is just work on the next game. I imagine they saw the massive amount of money that came in, maybe were surprised, maybe weren't surprised, and they said, okay, we need to do this again as quickly as possible. Now, could DLC make the money? Sure it could, but what could really make the money? A second game, right? So for me, I believe that they just went straight to the second game. I feel like now approaching a year, almost a year, right? I think we just would have heard something for DLC for the base game. You could have argued, and we have, Quidditch and, online kind of stuff. Well, Quidditch, you have a Quidditch game coming out, right? So, like, I don't really think you need to do that as DLC for Hogwarts Legacy. You don't need to do, like, a 1 year later kind of patch. Could you do something? I mean, yeah, it's possible. Maybe a small update or two throughout the year, but I personally kind of believe they're done. So that's Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy 2, well, do we get anything? Again, I think the answer is no here. Now, with this, there's a little caveat, because I think this could be a year where we get info through leaks, rumors, or even job postings. Job postings, as we've started to even see this past year, 2023, right? We started to see, like they want people with MMO experience. Like that's what in God's name are they doing there, right? Not necessarily in a bad way, just like of intrigue. What are they actually making? What are they putting in to their next game, right? So I think that's actually going to be pretty important. I don't, it's only been a year. I keep saying it. I guess we're going to say it a little bit more. It's only been a year since the first game. This is not when you show like your next one, right? Even if they could get Hogwarts Legacy 2 out in 4 years, which would be below the industry's average, right? A game like this probably normally, average-wise, takes about 5 years, maybe even longer. And maybe they can do it. You have teams like Remedy that can put out games in like 3 to 4 years, and those games are very high quality. Now, they're not open world, right? But they are still very, very high quality. So it's possible. Now, even if the games say 3 years after Hogwarts Legacy, which I really think it's going to be 4 or even more than that. So for me, 1 year later, this is not where you announce the second game. I actually think maybe the next year, maybe 25, you announce it, because then you only got, say, 2 years till the game comes out. That's up with industry standards, right? Announcing your game, disappearing for a few years, kind of coming back. That would make sense. So for me, any info we get on Hogwarts Legacy 2 this upcoming year would be through leaks, would be through rumors, would be through job postings. We see, hey, they want somebody with live service experience. Hey, they want somebody with this. Hey, we can really start to pinpoint it's for sure going to be Hogwarts, which I think it is going to be Hogwarts Legacy 2 or whatever they would call it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's in order. Could be like a Red Dead situation. They go, more into the past, but that's what I think there. In terms of everything else, well, Quidditch, you have Quidditch Champions, and I think that game comes out in 24. I actually thought that game was, could have came out in 23. I think that game is totally coming out in 2024, and that's going to be very exciting. Without saying anything, more about experience or anything else, obviously they've had several play tests for this game. I think we're all technically allowed to say that, right? And I think this game can be pretty big in terms of size, player-based, right? So I think that's going to be something big, and, it's, again, hard to really say more than that for this game in particular, let's say. right? Okay, but what about anything else? Well, I was the one, for years, and I was the one even when Hogwarts Legacy came out that was saying it cannot just be about Hogwarts Legacy, right? You need to make a Wizarding World kind of universe or like game, almost genre of its own, right? There should be more than one Wizarding World game. I had feared that they were going to wait to see the evidence. And I said that was a mistake, right? There's plenty of evidence of me saying all these things. I said, hey, you should have multiple games in development right now. Even before Hogwarts Legacy released, there should have been more than one being made because I think it was going to work massively. And guess what? It did. Now, hopefully, they thought the same way. Hopefully, they weren't waiting to see the money rolling in from one game to decide to give, Wizarding World games to other studios. Now, the thing that I want to throw in is I think we were proven right. I was proven right because you had Unbroken Studios, right, doing Quidditch, and they have been making that for a couple of years now. So I do think in the last few years, there's been an initiative to make more Wizarding World games. So with that being said, I do think we could get more. Now, are we going to have them release in 24? No. I think Quidditch Champions releases. I think you probably don't get anything on Hogwarts, but I do think it's possible you could get another Wizarding World game. There should be, as I kept saying, and I will continue to say really till the end of my time on YouTube, there should be plenty of these games in development at one time. And, I mean, they haven't really done that very well with DC, but maybe Wizarding World can kind of kick them, in their behind and get them going, right? I think that's what they should do. I think they should have 2, 3, 4 Wizarding World games happening all at once so you can kind of stagger the releases and get almost a yearly release schedule where every year, completely different kind of Wizarding World game, but you get one. So maybe not a prediction in this way, but more of like a hope, is I hope we go through 24 and we get an announcement of another Wizarding World game. That way it's not just, because if Quidditch comes out, then it's like, okay, well, we only have Hogwarts Legacy now. To Hogwarts Legacy 2, I guess, right? There should be another one so that we can say, oh, we have Hogwarts Legacy 2 and this other game. Maybe those two games come out in the span of 3 different years, right? So it's like, okay, you can stagger. You could do one, have a blank year, and then have the other, or have them come out in back-to-back years. That's how it should be. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel. Obviously, if there's any Wizarding World news gaming-wise, I'll be covering all of it here. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next one.